Stereotypically, one expects gay characters to be more effeminate. In the contemporary mainstream comedies The Birdcage, Mean Girls, and I Love You, Philip Morris, you have theatrical and exaggerated gay characters crossing gender lines. On the other hand, in the contemporary mainstream dramas Brokeback Mountain and Philadelphia, the gay stereotype is broken because they portray gay protagonists as heterosexually coded, meaning that they have personalities and traits that one would assume to belong to a heterosexual man. Both of these movies are dramas though, and have a more serious and tragic undertone to them. To me, there seems to be a definite difference between depiction of gay characters in comedies and dramas. In contemporary mainstream cinema featuring gay male protagonists or characters, comedies depict gay characters as effeminate and as camp, whereas in dramas, the gay characters are heterosexually coded. This suggests that men demoted in status to women are considered funny, while gay men who act like traditionally masculine and heterosexual men are cases of tragedy. When looking at how gay men are portrayed in mainstream movies, one obvious notion comes to mind, and that is masculinity. Our society believes that being a real man entails being masculine, and in our society, being masculine means being physical, strong, independent, intimidating, in control, tough, and so on. Being feminine is therefore not what a real man is. So why do we laugh when men are depicted with traits that are considered to be feminine? In 2010, Peter McGraw and Caleb Warren came up with a theory that would explain humor across a wide collection of circumstances, the benign violation theory. The theory is built on the fact that humor comes from positive emotions. Positive emotions are related to being safe and acceptable, in other words, benign situations. However, in order for those benign situations to be considered funny, they have to be simultaneously related to something that might be looked upon as wrong or threatens our belief of how things should be, a violation. This means that the reason for why we think that the effeminate male is comedic is because he triggers a benign violation reaction. In the comedies The Birdcage, Mean Girls, and I Love You, Philip Morris, the gay characters are obviously gay in the sense that the evidence of them being gay is obvious. Their traits, qualities, and personalities fit into what a heterosexist society associates with gay men. In other words, those traits act as gay signs. In all of these comedies, the effeminate male is considered funny, and some of the characters are placed in the movie only for the comedic appeal.
Okay, fine. Do you have anything pink?
Yes!
If we go back to looking at the benign violation theory, for something to be considered funny, that something has to be violating and benign simultaneously. Our society is heterocentric, therefore, the violation that occurs in these comedies is the portrayal of the effeminate gay male characters, because they do not fit into the society's social norm. The over-the-top theatricality that some of these characters represent only makes the violations occurring more major. The violation is happening in a benign atmosphere because the environments that these characters are put in are safe. Since women are not usually perceived to be a threat in society, it makes sense that men who act like women also must not be perceived as being a threat. I Love You, Philip Morris may describe a horrible situation, still the situation is so surreal and physically distant from us, and the fact that Jim Carrey, a well-known comedian, plays the part of Steven Russell is a major part in creating a benign atmosphere in this film. In Philadelphia and Brokeback Mountain, the gay characters behave as a straight man behaves in the sense that they are bold, rough, independent, and withhold emotion. If we were not presented with the imagery of them being in a same-sex relation, we typically would have looked at these characters as heterosexual. Both Philadelphia and Brokeback Mountain bring to light the fact that gay men can be conventionally masculine. However, this is done by likening such behavior to tragedy. There is nothing benign about the occurrences in these films, and therefore we do not laugh, because they are far from being comedic. Philadelphia involves a man dying of AIDS, a life-threatening situation. Brokeback Mountain consists of two gay characters struggling with their sexuality in a heterosexist world, and in the end, one of them dies because of not being careful enough in hiding his sexuality. These situations are nothing more than heartbreaking and horrible. When creating mainstream films, the commercial film industry seems to depict gay characters with the assumption that effeminate gay men are funny and supposed to be ridiculed, and conventionally masculine gay men are tragic because they do not fit into any of the society's frameworks. The different ways of depicting gays, and then again categorizing those depictions into either belonging to mainstream comedies or dramas, illustrates the presumptions that both our society and the film industry have about gays. Although being gay is seen upon as very natural in our society and is accepted, it is still not considered as normal as heterosexuality, and the film industry reflects that. When the film and cinema industry creates a mainstream film about a heterosexually coded gay character that is not related to tragedy, or a commercial comedy that depicts a conventionally masculine gay character where him being gay is not the source of humor, that's when we know the society has changed its assumption and attitude towards gay men.